Hey guys, it's Grand Admiral Thrawn, and today I'm reviewing K2-SO's Black Series. This is actually the older one. There is a new one that was released for the Rogue One wave. They're pretty much identical, which I think is my favorite thing. This one was so good at the time of its release that the remake of the figure is identical to this. I think they just made this again because this one was so good. Like, all of his features, his arms move like this, his hands move, his legs move, he's got great posability, and his head rotates. Now, the reason I'm doing K2 is because I was thinking of reviewing all of the Rogue One members and Saw Gerrera. I felt like I'd shoehorn him in there. Anyway, so K2 is my favorite member of Rogue One, and I figured I'd start this with this. Now, technically, I already did Cassian, but I'm officially starting with K2. Let's just say that. This officially starts with K2 of when I decided to do all the figures. Cassian was just a thing I threw in that Crosshair double because Andor and Bad Batch Season 2 were coming out. But K2 is where the Rogue One Squad review starts. Now, I actually like Rogue One. Some of my friends say that it's a bad movie because it's unnecessary. I disagree. I feel like, yeah, did we actually need to know about how they got the Death Star? No, but it's still a great story that I actually like. And part of what makes me like it so much is K2, because he's just this sarcastic humor, like comedic relief character who's a droid, and he makes jokes. Like, unlike L3, he doesn't make jokes directly about how droids have no rights. I still like L3, but with K2, it's kind of more subtle, and he just has these sarcastic humor moments, and they're my favorite parts about him, and he's my favorite character in the movie. And what makes him so good is that not only is he comedic relief, he's also serious in that when he sacrifices himself, it's sad. But anyway, we're not talking about the character of K2-SO. We're talking about the figure. And yeah, this figure is really good. If you're thinking of buying the new one or the old one, it doesn't matter. They're basically identical. The only thing is you will find the new one in a store. So there's that. Unlike the other figures, the newer ones of several figures are updated, but K2 here is basically the same. So if you find the old one for a cheaper price, you can get it, or if you find the newer one, you can get it. It doesn't make any difference other than price. Now, they got all the detailing right here on K2. They have the little orange spots, the Imperial logos that are on his arm. His eyes are accurate. I mean, his eyes do have little dots in them, but other than that, they're accurate. He's taller than most figures, which is something I like that Black Series does. They make the taller characters taller and the shorter characters shorter. So yeah, I think K2 here is really good, and I don't really actually have much to say about the figure itself, because, well, there's nothing really wrong with the figure. They include these little scratch marks to show like he's been in battle and everything. Yeah, his hands, I mean, K2 never really had a weapon, and that's one of his complaints in the movie. Why does she get a blaster and I don't? That's a funny moment of his. He does have a blaster at the end of the movie, so they could have maybe thrown that in here with the figure. The Lego buildable figure of K2-SO did. Oh, no, wait. No, it didn't, actually. Huh. This is a time where Lego and Hasbro are kind of tied. Usually Hasbro outdoes Lego, but they're kind of tied. Anyway, yeah, K2 here, great figure. The only thing I would have really done is given him a little blaster, because that's what he has at the end of the movie during his final scene. K2 is more of a puncher, though, instead of a shooter, so there's that. He does fall over sometimes, but you just gotta prop him up right. It's because he's tall, that's all. So there's that. Yeah, the figure itself, really great. Onto the box. Now, there's not really much I can say about the box because it's a red box. Not like the DVD thing, but a red box, and they don't really have much unique about them. All the red boxes have is they'll have a picture of the character up here and a picture of them on the back with a little details about the character. And then they have a number on the side and there, but it's not really anything unique. The newer one does have the new Rogue One wall art thing, so there is that. If you do want to consider the box, that would be something you could do. But yeah, other than that, there aren't really any issues with K2 here. This is a good figure. They're both the exact same, kinda. The only issues is, like, his eyes have these dots in them in the movie, and he should have had a blaster because it would have made that scene funny. I don't even think the new one gives him a blaster. Jeez, I think K2 would be mad about that if he could see this figure. But yeah, this figure is really good. It's taller like the average Black Series, and it looks just like K2. Even though the eyes are a thing, I'm glad that they're just these white dots with no little black dot in them. It's kind of better that way. Yeah, this is a really great figure. They got it all right. And I know that they couldn't have thrown him in Andor, but I feel like if Andor could fit in K2 in Season 2, that would be amazing. Because before Andor, K2 was without a doubt what made Andor good. Now with Andor, Cassian's good on his own, but when we just had Rogue One, I didn't think Cassian was good enough. The only thing that I liked about him was K2. Sometimes he does fall, like I stated earlier. So yeah, in Andor Season 2, I hope K2 shows up, because K2 is a great character. And yeah, so there's that. Let me know down in the comments what Rogue One member you want me to do next. May 4th's coming up, and I'm doing a certain character from the Skywalker saga for that, along with another video, because I do 2 May 4th videos. And yeah, this figure, 10 out of 10, because at the time of its release, this is an amazing figure, because we would have ones like the Solo Han, which I like Solo, clearly, but they got the figures wrong with that. There are a few exceptions, actually. Kira and Beckett look good, but Kira, they did off the wrong version of her. I feel like I'm dragging this video out and I'm talking more about other stuff than the actual K2 figure. So I'm just going to end it here. 10 out of 10 figure. Let me know down in the comments what Rogue One member you want me to do next. And I'll see you next time. This is Grand Admiral Thrawn signing off, and I look forward to our next encounter in my next video.